Episode 28, Social Credit and the Environment. We are often told that increased taxation and tighter regulations are the best ways of dealing with the negative environmental impacts of economic activity, pollution, and the devastation of the natural world. But what if this isn't true? According to the social credit analysis of Major C.H. Douglas, not to be confused with Chinese social credit, the present financial system and the dysfunctional economic order which it engenders are the primary factors responsible for the heavy environmental damage that modern civilization has imposed on the natural world. It follows that the best way of eliminating, reducing, or otherwise mitigating environmental harm is to reform the financial system so that the economy can function on a more sustainable basis. A truly healthy economy will make for a healthy environment. Let us begin with the observation that the present economic system is highly inefficient in physical terms. In order to distribute in full what the economy produces and to thereby meet all of its costs, the economy must grow in each economic period. The basic reason for this has been addressed repeatedly throughout this series. The current financial system generates a gap between the flow of prices and the flow of incomes. That same system seeks to compensate for the gap in many ways, but the main method is through the adjuncts of forced economic activity and forced economic growth. By compelling governments and private companies to continually borrow additional money into existence in order to finance more and more production, especially capital production and production for export or warfare, the rate of flow of consumer incomes can be augmented, past production distributed, and some semblance of equilibrium attained. But all of this extra economic activity that the economy requires just to make the financial system work also means extra pollution, extra destruction of non-renewable resources, and an extra waste and misuse of renewable resources. If instead we balance the financial system on social credit lines by supplementing the flow of incomes with a sufficient flow of debt-free consumer credits, we can eliminate the need for cancerous economic growth as well as the misguided policy of full employment. All of the additional environmental harm which such superfluous economic activity imposes will automatically fall away. A physically efficient economy, which implies a policy of the minimum employment necessary, is an environmentally friendly economy. But a social credit monetary reform can do even more for the environment. You see, there are many new and/or alternative technologies that can be employed to further reduce the impacts of industrial processes. In some cases, these technologies are not developed or are not used under the current economic order because they threaten established industries in which monopolistic finance has a stake. In other cases, consumers are not in a position to afford the more expensive products that would be made with these cleaner technologies. By liberating both production and consumption from artificial financial constraints, social credit would make it possible to overcome both obstacles of vested interests on the one hand and the artificial advantage possessed by cheaper goods on the other. Producers would have freer access to credit to invent, to manufacture, and/or to purchase cleaner technologies, while consumers would always enjoy sufficient purchasing power so as to be able to afford, in the aggregate, whatever cleaner products and services that can be put on the market. Finally, when finance acts as a servant instead of as master, it becomes possible to proactively care for the environment as good stewards ought. Reforestation, programs to clean up water, air and land pollution, programs to repair the effects of soil erosion, and the provision of new habitats for a variety of endangered species, and so forth, all become financially feasible under social credit. Whoever is sincerely concerned with environmental issues should also be a social creditor. Only social credit can render it possible to preserve, respect, and restore the environment without requiring the abandonment of modern civilization as the inevitable trade-off. This animated series was sponsored by the Clifford Hugh Douglas Institute for the Study and Promotion of Social Credit. For more information on Douglas Social Credit, please visit socred.org or socialcredit.com.au. Be sure to like this video and please subscribe to our channel.